It's June. The wind is howling and it's like winter outside. This is ridiculous, I think to myself. There's a sense of something being stolen, that warmth and feel-good factor that this time of year normally brings. We had 3 hot days recently in May and the media wasted no time pouncing with all the doom, disaster and apocalyptic narrative they could muster. Shannon Airport was over 30 degrees, they proclaimed. But even I know that taking a temperature reading at a location covered in concrete and roaring jet engines is dodgy. It's interesting how they focused only in those 3 days and that one location, but then suffered a complete lapse of memory when it came to every day before that, right back to January 1st and every day since then. A few nights ago I was in bed, shivering, but was too lazy to get up and put on some woolly socks or make myself a hot bottle. I'm sure that George Lee doesn't have that problem, with his 200 grand a year salary, transmitting all that climate doom on our national broadcaster. 200 grand. Unbelievable, isn't it? I'd do that for 200 grand a year. I'd even dress up in a Dracula costume if I had to. Being an eco-doom merchant, I also assume George has all the latest taxpayer-subsidized expensive eco-gadgetry at his beck and call at home, so shivering would never be an issue in the Lee household. I wonder what it's like to be doom writing all day long, from the moment you wake to when you go to bed at night. It must be a very depressing existence, writing things for public consumption that you must know are not provable and cannot be true. Is writing assertion and supposition, and then presenting it as fact, the new face of journalism now? I suppose it is. After all, when your salary depends on it, facts or whatever you claim they are, and isn't that how the whole climate industry works anyway? All on the taxpayer's dime. That's you and me, by the way. I heard John McGurk say recently that it is now official policy within RTE that any opposing view to the climate narrative is not allowed. No, deniers are not welcome on set. I think that qualifies as indoctrination, when only one side of an argument is permitted. The alternative argument can always be branded as misinformation in order to justify its forced absence. I met a gentleman last week who was telling me about his battery solar system and EV he had. He was very proud of his climate-friendly lifestyle. Taxpayer subsidies are great, I told him. What do you mean, taxpayer? He asked. I had to break it to him that the taxpayer was funding all his gadgetry through carbon taxes and every other cleverly labelled form of legalised theft. I told him that fuel prices are kept artificially high in order to make the renewable fantasy look cheap. He was under the impression that the government loved him so much that it was gifting him his beloved solar system with its 15 to 20 year lifespan. Oh, he didn't know that either, or that the inverter and batteries would have to be replaced long before 20 years came around. That'll be 7 to 10 grand for new batteries. Thank you very much. Not including the inverter. The marketing company must have forgotten to include that little tidbit of information while selling you their utopian free power mirage. I have a 30-year warranty, another man told me. I borrowed 12 grand from the bank over 5 years, he said. Oh, a bank loan. So it's really costing you 15 grand when you factor in interest. 30 years is a long time, I said, but that company will likely be out of business long before that. And next up in the government insanity agenda is the new car scrappage scheme for all cars 12 years and older, their latest little boondoggle to entice people to give up their reliable cars in favour of ones that nobody really wants and are quite unaffordable without another dip in the taxpayer cookie jar and take forever to charge up. But then again, maybe sitting around a fuel station for 45 minutes is a great way to catch up on your emails. Taking good cars off the road is in perfect alignment with the mindlessness one would expect when highly unintelligent people are running the country. And so, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it does. I'm sure George is tapping away at his climate-friendly typewriter, making sure we are all on board with this new scam. He must be typing around the clock these days. Oh, I miss the old days when all we had to worry about was the refrigerant-caused ozone layer hole, acid rain, and the new ice age that never materialized. 2 Australian scientists went on to prove that refrigerant gas falls to the ground and not upwards. But the experts must have forgotten to mention that. Maybe that's why they later went quiet about their ozone hole theory, which as it turns out is an annual natural phenomena anyway. I'm sure they'll get it right eventually, all those doom-mongers. Sure, even a broken clock is right once every 12 hours. All you have to do is give up your liberty and give them full control. After all, they're the experts, and experts are infallible, especially when they're on 200 grand a year. Sure, they must know what they're on about, just like Dr. Spaceship Luke during COVID. And don't forget, we're just ignorant peasants who don't know any better.